So, coming from the Tech Buzz, which is basically just a ripoff for The Verge, Ford rehires former engineers to fix AI assembly mistakes. Automaker admits automation failures led to quality issues, bringing back veterans. So I think we're going to see more of this with the whole AI fraud as the AI fraud unravels, where basically, right, the king normies, the executives in organizations have been sold a bill of goods by the AI industry, right? Sam Altman comes out, Dario comes out, and they're like, look, if AI can cure disease and AI can solve science, obviously AI can do the work of your employees. And then you have the king normies up on high controlling their organizations. And they're like, well, that just makes complete sense. And so then they start firing people because their idea is we're going to buy this product. This product is going to replace what these employees do. So we might as well just start firing them now. The problem that you run into is that AI is not solving science, it is not curing disease, and the idea that it can do everything in your organization is just absolutely and utterly ridiculous, right? I come here, my point when I do these videos is to talk for the system. The system needs a voice. I try to talk for the system, and I try to talk to decision makers and organizations. And an important thing you have to be thinking about with artificial intelligence or any technology, AI is simply a form of technology. Any technology you're going to deploy, especially if you're planning on firing people, is you need to test it. You need to deploy it into a production environment. You need to audit the results and verify that what you're getting is what you actually need to get. And then, by all means, fire as many employees as you want to fire, right? But that is after you've put the systems in place, you're running them in production, you verify results for an extended period of time to verify that the technology is, actually doing what it's supposed to do. Because you'll be shocked, but a lot of the products that you buy don't actually do what they say they do on the tin, right? The problem we're dealing with the king normies is, that's for technology professionals to worry about. They are the smart people in organizations. So they're just gonna buy the AI product and fire people, and I'm sure it's all gonna be A-okay, and it's gonna be a bit of a crap show, right? One of the big things I talk about with this whole thing with artificial intelligence is that it's just not AI. When you deal with humans, lordy. What can I say about dealing with humans? Anyways, when you're dealing with humans are, fuck me, they're humans, right? There is more to humans than these LLMs and if-else statements and everything else. There's just so much more that's involved. And I just, in no way, shape, or form, believe these AI systems fully encompass what it is to replace an employee. We are barely at the stage where we can have robo-taxis on the roads and they're not just slaughtering people, right? And so when you're actually dealing with employees, there's a lot more to just simply navigating a car down the road or whatever else. And so I think one of the issues that we're gonna start seeing is a lot of these companies will fire people either specifically for AI. I would argue at this point in time it's not actually because of AI, more for the potential, right? They see the potential of AI, and if there's a potential of AI, they might as well start firing people now. And I think what we're gonna start seeing is a lot of rehiring in the future as people realize, oh, that was just so dumb. That was so dumb. So that's what we're seeing with Ford right now, is they implemented a lot of AI, they implemented a lot of automation, and surprise, surprise, it just did not work out well. Ford just pulled back the curtain on a problem most companies won't talk about. This is the other interesting thing, right? Will these people talk about the issues that they're running into? Its automated systems screwed up so badly that it had to rehire former engineers to fix the mess. The omission comes as Ford celebrates hitting #1 in J.D. Power's initial quality ranking among mainstream automakers, but the real story is that it took what it took to get there. The company's robots and AI-driven production systems, once touted as the future of manufacturing, made errors that required experienced human technicians to correct, revealing a gap between automation promises and manufacturing reality. This is going to be the theme, especially I think for 2027. the difference between promises and reality. Ford is having a moment of unusual honesty about automation. While competitors race to automate everything, Ford's quality team is telling a different story, one where bringing humans back into the loop saved the day. The automaker topped J.D. Power's initial quality study among mainstream brands this year, but getting there meant admitting its automated systems weren't as smart as advertised. Production robots and AI-driven design tools have been making errors that rippled through assembly lines, according to The Verge's reporting. The solution tracked down former employees and experienced technicians who understood what the machines were getting wrong. I think this is going to be the other interesting thing to be thinking about as employees get replaced is what are the ripple effects going to be, right? So when you replace a receptionist, so one of the things I always talk about is the auto attendants. Like the auto attendant was like the perfect technology. that is the type of technology geeks should hope for, right? You call into a business, press 1 for sales, press 2 for service, that type of deal. That is what an auto attendant is. And when you install an auto attendant, it is amazing. One moment the company needs a whole department of receptionists, the next moment that entire department of receptionists get fired. Like once you put an auto attendant in, there's essentially no fundamental reason to have the receptionist anymore. Their jobs are gone that moment, right? But one of the things I think a lot of people don't think about is that you do lose something when you lose a receptionist. Companies just don't care, right? The receptionists have relationships. The receptionists know different people. If you're like, crap, who should I talk? I need to, let's say you're working at a car manufacturing company or whatever, and you're having problems with windshields, right? Back in the old days, you could go up to a receptionist and say, hey, do you know who works on windshields around here? And they would be like, oh yeah, because their literal job is to route people for communication. So when you lose those types of people, you also lose that very easy way for being able to get information on who you should be able to talk to. What I think becomes interesting is when you start talking about automating human resources processes, when you start thinking about automating legal processes, customer service processes, all of that kind of stuff. There's a big question about like what will the ripple effect be that you may not realize. So imagine if you have human customer service representatives, right? So you have the human customer service representatives and people are calling in and they're dealing with the customers. They can tell that more and more customers are being pissed off. Hey boss, look, I've been working here for about 2 years. Honestly, customers call into customer service, they're always a little bit pissed off. I'm gonna tell you something though. It seems like over the last month, this particular product, people are getting really pissed off, right? And that's kind of one of those weird data points like human beings can pick up on and just say, hey boss, I'm just saying maybe we need to take a look at this as an organization because there does seem to be more problems here, right? Or if there's an issue, right? Simply being able to talk with somebody and say, hey, this isn't working for us. So imagine, again, you have senior level system administrators. So system administration is something you could probably hand off to artificial intelligence. Let's say you have quotas, right? You have storage quotas, on the server. And so 2 human beings get together, you're doing support services, you go to the senior administrator, you're like, hey, look, the marketing department really needs an extra 5 gigs of storage on the server. They're doing these particular projects, right? And let's just say you have a senior administrator that's not a complete piece of shit. Like maybe, I don't know, it might happen. Anyways, and you can have that little conversation and the senior administrator, okay, for that one department, you're saying this is a project, that one department, even though we're short on storage space, I will free up, I will increase their quotas for a month so they get access to that storage space. And that's the kind of problem that can be solved over a little bit of a conversation. Now imagine if AI was running your quotas. How do you have a little conversation with AI? Not only that, but after the AI is set up and is, doing the agent services to set up everybody's quotas, who could reconfigure do you even know if there's still somebody in the company that knows how to reconfigure the agent if you do need to reconfigure the agent for any other kind of stuff? Like that's the kind of weird stuff that we get into when we start handing everything over to AI. All of a sudden, everything is a very solid system where you can't necessarily just have a little bit of a conversation. So I think what's kind of interesting here is that Ford realizing, hey, automating everything probably wasn't the greatest idea in the world. Oh, let's see here. The core issue, Ford found, is data quality. And this is also the other interesting thing. Remember with AI, again, it's not. These things we call AI, they need data. This is one of the big things, like sensors. Sensors are so important in the modern world, is, garbage in, garbage out, as we always talked about before. Is there enough data for an artificial intelligence system to actually be able to have a quote unquote idea of what to do? AI models are only as good as what they learn from, and in manufacturing environments filled with decades of legacy processes and undocumented tribal knowledge, that's a problem. An automated system might optimize for speed but miss quality issues a veteran line worker would catch instantly. A design AI might generate technically correct specs that are nightmares to actually build. What makes Ford's story particularly revealing is the solution. Rather than trying to fix the AI or collect more training data, they went back to human expertise. Former engineers who had left the company, taking decades of manufacturing knowledge with them, were brought back to identify what the automated systems were missing. It's essentially an admission that some knowledge is too tacit, too contextual to easily encode machine learning models. And I think we're going to start seeing this out of more and more organizations. The curious thing is basically what happens when the organizations need to rehire these people and these people say no. Either they've moved on, or they've retired, or they've just gotten pissy. Here's the thing. Sometimes human beings get pissy. You laid me off for that piece of garbage AI. I was screaming about you, about what a piece of crap that AI was. You still laid me off. Go deal with it, right? It'll be interesting to see how that all works out at the end of the day. So what do you think about this? What do you think about Ford rehiring engineers because AI and automation truly and legitimately did fail to provide the improvements that they were expecting? What do you think about this with the rest of the industry? Do you think we're going to start to see more of this? Put your thoughts down in the comment section. If you like these videos, do remember they are on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. Also, if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.